What's good, y'all? It's Tezzy, baby. What his voice is getting so good, y'all. What's up? It's Cortez Mack, and you are tuned into a brand spanking new episode of Cortez Mack TV. Without me taking too long for this intro, because I don't really get into all of that, I want y'all to get to the action. I just want to tell you what we got up for today. We're going to get into a little bit of news of the week. And this week has been pretty crazy, y'all. I'm tripping over my words because it's been a week. I say that every week, but for real this week. Stay tuned for the news to find out what's going on. I also have part 2 of my interview with the homie Chauncey Jackson. If you missed last week, I would say pause this, put it on your watch later little playlist, go back and watch last week, and then come back. Because when we finish today, you are gonna really be in love with this man. But I need you to know all of his journey. So if you missed part 1, go back and then come here. I'll stand right here and wait for you. Or what side look good? I'll wait like this. I feel like this is a good waiting pose. Okay, you're back. So with that, I would like to say that this week, this interview really did a lot for me in terms of making me kind of check myself and my mental health and where I am with that, because that's been a day-to-day journey, and I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate. So tune into that interview, it's gonna be dope. And then we'll end the week by telling you who really has something to celebrate this week and who should be happy. So that's what we got lined up. I hope that y'all are excited for this episode. If you're not, sit your ass down and get your ass excited. Let's get it. So this week in news, we've had some ups and some downs. Let's just run them real quick. Let's start with something very good, because I am one of the biggest Power fans that there is. I was late to the game, but I fell in love with the show real fast because Tasha was on it. She was my favorite. 3LW was my group growing up back in the day, and I don't like how Adrian and Keely did her. Long story short, I'm a Naturi Naughton fan. So, if you watch Power, I'm not going to spoil it. I promise you I'm not. She got a new show, y'all. Well, we going to see. ABC has reported that there is going to be a pilot being shot for a show featuring Naturi Naughton and Eve, and guess what, y'all? The show is called Queens. The premise of it is 4 women who kind of like had it going on back in the day as a rap group are trying to rekindle that old thing, and they want to just kind of get back to where they were back in the day in terms of being successful. But it's drama and all this other stuff that comes along the way. I'm really excited for this show because Naturi has shown that she is a bomb-ass actress. Eve has shown the same thing through Barbershop, her TV show Eve. Side note, on Eve's show, why was her name Shelly? Somebody answer that for me, make it make sense. Nonetheless, I'm excited for the show, and I can't wait to see what happens with it, and I hope that it gets picked up, because I'm all for more black women on my TV screen. Next up, we do have, I guess, a little bit of sad news, depending on how you feel about them. I love Kim and Kanye. I know that some of y'all are not, they're kind of polarizing figures, but they're getting divorced. Everybody already knows that. So that's the sad news. But this week, we kind of got, I guess, a bit of a light at the end of that dark, abysmal, dismal tunnel of divorce. In that Kim and Kanye seem to be going about this kind of peacefully, at least in terms of the kids. So Kim has come out and said that, and TMZ reported this, so you know it's real, because TMZ know everything. They know when, never mind, I was about to say something real crazy. So they've reported that Kim and Kanye are gonna have an amicable split in terms of custody with the kids, and they'll have joint custody. Some people wonder, with Kanye's mental health issues and things of that sort, whether Kim would seek full custody or not. And she didn't. You know, she's been quoted as saying that she fully trusts Kanye with the kids, and I think that that's wonderful because, I mean, divorce is commonplace in society today, but I feel like when it happens in the public eye and you have children like North and Surrey and Chicago, and I think they got another one I forgot the name of. When you have kids that are gonna see these things, I think that they deserve to see their parents kind of work through it as peacefully as they can, because nobody wants to look back through headlines and tabloids and news stories of their parents fighting as they split up. I mean, I think that would be traumatizing. Coming from a divorced household, I think back on some of the things that occurred that I witnessed. I would hate for any kid to have to go through that same thing. So prayers for Kim and Kanye, but also prayers to our boy Tiger Woods. That's right, y'all. ESPN has reported, and I mean everyone has reported, but ESPN makes sense because we're talking about sports. So yeah, ESPN. Shout out to y'all. Tiger Woods had a horrible accident, a single car accident last week, and he's recovering now. He's had some significant orthopedic injuries to his right leg. There were multiple broken bones that have had to be repaired, and he is going to be like ailing and recovering for a while. So we definitely need to send him some well wishes. What we do know is that he was descending down, he was coming around like and going down a hill where a lot of accidents occur, kind of like outside of Los Angeles. And from what has been said, there's no skid marks to show that he tried to brake or anything like that. So I don't know if Tiger was trying to do this. I don't know if he was. I hate to make any assumptions because we don't know, but we do know his history. All we can do right now is kind of speculate, which doesn't help. So I will instead send my well wishes to Tiger, because that's the other thing we can do. I said the only thing we could do is speculate, but I lied. We can send him our well wishes and just hope that he gets it back together. You know, a lot of our legends have had tumultuous times, but I don't think it takes away from their contributions to the world. And for Tiger, his contributions to the world of sports, I think especially right now during Black History Month, we need to uplift him and rally around him as opposed to kind of, you know, demonizing him and looking for this to be a sensational story. Let's just hope that he can bounce back and finish his career strong. That's the news for this week. Stay tuned for part 2 of my interview with Chauncey Jackson. Up next, y'all, I'm back for part 2 with my homie Chauncey Jackson. We just gonna call him Chauncey. We all family. So we left off talking about you kind of the process of falling back in love with songwriting and kind of letting that be into. How is that going in terms of you like reacclimating yourself? Or
it's going actually pretty good because now it's allowing me to go a lot deeper in regards to who I am as a person. Because for some reason when you write songs for a while, you kind of lose that creative spark because you're writing for so many other people, so you lose your voice in the midst of all of that. And not only that, you're trying to make money from this. So every song is now a digit. Every song now is something that you expect to produce revenue, and that's all they are. So to get back in touch with who you are as a creative, who you are as a writer, and what you really want to talk about, that was a difficult part. So I had to really search deep inside myself and resurface those values that I had before.
And what are some things that, I mean, you know, if you don't want to go that far with this one, that's fine. But what are some things that stir up emotion in you? What are some things that you feel compelled to write about?
Oh man, I'm really compelled to write about God. Like, but not in the perspective of like a religious aspect or anything like that, but just really in the everyday God that we see, like everyday, most high, whatever you believe in, like it's all around us, and it's so inspiring because I get to sing about how much something that's a huge part of me is part of every aspect of my life, whether it be even the bad parts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just a beautiful thing, man. I love writing about God without people even knowing I'm talking about God. I think I'm talking about a woman or talking about something else. It's like, talking about God.
I mean, and that honestly, I hate to say it, but that is kind of a way to reach a lot of people who are resistant to even trying to listen to anything about a higher power. Like, and if they don't realize it, they do it when they say, "Oh, that interpretation is dope." I respect that. That's smart. Not saying that you wouldn't be smart. It's very smart, but I get what you're saying. So, what are some things then that, I guess one of them, as I get ready to ask you this question, I was gonna say, like, what are some obstacles that kind of block you from writing about those things? But you already talked about one being, you know, wanting to be productive financially, wanting the lucrative kind of deals?
Yeah, so that's actually, I would say the hardest part about it is allowing myself to be vulnerable enough for myself to share with the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a real tender place for me. So to give that to the world, and then it's a difficult thing. Yeah.
Do you consider that easier to do as a outside of writing, or is it hard for you there too? Like to open up and be vulnerable?
So outside of writing, no.
No?
Nobody knows. Like I'm not the face of that. I'm not behind it in a sense. Like once that person gets that song, now you're the face of it. Those are my words, and I appreciate you singing them. But to represent myself and what I believe, and it's sometimes difficult for me, for anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's sometimes the hard part.
What are you? Is that something that you kind of have? We all have goals, personal things that we, always strive to work on. Is that one of yours, or has songwriting made it to where I get my feelings out that way?
Oh no, it's definitely a goal. It's definitely happening.
Okay.
I can't get around it when something calls you, it keeps calling you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what keeps calling me. No matter how much I try to hide from it, it's like, all right, this is it.
Has there been a time where, from the time that I've looked at your social media, you seem to be someone who just, who you are, or the things that you, like you said, like we just said, the things that you want to work on. Where does that clarity come from? Because from the outside eye, you seem like someone who really, really, when I brought you on, I was thinking like he can kind of, help some people guide them to that. But as I'm listening, I'm like, you had to really go through a journey to get there. What are some things that happened on your journey to this point where you are now? That was a long-winded way of asking y'all, but trust me, everybody has a journey, and that's why I want them on Cortez Mac TV. So for real, like, how did you get to where you are now, to this point of being this conscious and this aware of who you are?
Man, that's a journey. I can tell you how I worked through it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can tell you the journey. I don't think it would serve it justice. But how I worked through it was I worked through it by God, man. Yeah, God did it, bro. Like it's something that seems very cliche, but it really is. I can't explain it. A lot of my own powers, they worked and they helped through the process, but I just believe what God told me. He said I had a plan for you, and I just believe it. And until I don't know, it got me through. But at the same time, I also had to be honest with myself about the things how I molded my future to be. And then when I get in the present of it, it's like, I didn't want this. It's like, this is by your actions. This is what you've been doing. So seeing those mistakes and then realizing that I'm numb to feeling certain things, and then going through therapy and getting back to a place where I'm comfortable feeling again, comfortable being again. Bro, it's a journey. It's a lot of pain. Yeah. It's a lot of pain, but it's a lot of joy.
Yeah. They bound and they come with each other. I feel like you have to experience pain to truly value joy. You have to experience. And joy comes after pain, I think too.
People say they want this work.
Yeah.
People say they want it. Yeah. You gotta live through it. So.
And we're all living through it, and so every day is just an opportunity. And so to have you on and to have you kind of reflect somebody that's just maximizing their opportunities, I really, really appreciate you taking the time out in that regard, because we need to see more of that. And some people are just not open and honest about that struggle, because that's daily.
Yeah, it is. Everybody's going through it, and don't nobody know how to describe it. So therapy helps a lot. It gives you words to describe it, whatever those emotions or things are. Like, it helps a lot.
And at the same time, especially within the Black community, there's a lot of maybe not even attacking therapy, but there's at least, I think, a trivializing of it to where people kind of downplay how positive it can be. Is that something that you experience, even not, maybe not even from the family regard, but from like friends or anyone that kind of gave you negative perceptions of therapy?
So I don't really hang out with people that aren't concerned with my mental health. I don't really hang out with people that's not for the betterment of my mental and emotional growth. Like, I just don't really associate myself with those type of people. But in regards to therapy, on the hand, I think people, when they go to therapy, I think people are looking for, including myself when I first, that therapy was a fix, or like the therapist is going to give you the answer, and it's really not like that. It's more so like therapist helps you find the answers for yourself. Ask you questions that's going to make you really have to dig into yourself. And not only that, it's a person that does not know anything about you, like, at all. So there's really nothing that you have to hide. And if they're, and if you do want to hide something, it's legally binding that they can't say anything. So it's something that's just like people want the answer, man, and it's not like that. And sometimes people just don't really want to take responsibility for their life
and do the work.
Man. It's hard work. It is hard. You really have to fucking grow and really get past some stuff that you did to yourself, and love yourself after that, heal after that. Like, but it's work. Yeah.
What's your proudest day that you experienced?
My proudest day, man. The first day.
Through doing that work, the first day of therapy. Yeah.
The first day when I was like, I need help. Like, I can't do this by myself. That, like, for so long I was doing it by myself, and without therapy, without God, and I maintained for a while. You know what I'm saying? But shit hit the fan, and you're like, I need a little bit more than myself right now.
Do you think it's important to maintain through the ups and downs? Because some people, and when you keep referring back to God, it brings me to something that I've kind of witnessed, even with my own faith. I tend to be more diligent about praying when things are bad. When things are good, sometimes I know it's not, but sometimes I trapped in that mindset of, man, it's me. Like, I'm good. I'm good right now because of the work I'm putting in, not I'm good because you allow me to be good. You know what I'm saying? Or because you blessing me to be good. And when things are bad, I know to turn back and get back right. Do you feel like that is common among people?
I think it is, man. But how I view God is just like, how I view life. Life is always going to show you who you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't like what we see. You know what I'm saying? Through our actions and stuff like that, or through situations. It's just going to show you who you are. And I think that God knows that. And it's not a thing of you doing anything. Not I can say you're not doing anything wrong, but it's just like, God has a lot more grace than y'all really think he does.
Yeah.
And he understands what this thing called, she understands what this thing called life is. So it's like, it's not much, if you're condemned, if you feel condemned, then it's you condemning you. Because it's not coming from anywhere else but you. You know what I mean? Yeah, so.
That really just hit the words that you just said. Because I struggle a lot with like self-worth and just trying to, this journey of comparing myself to others and kind of like just feeling like it's not going to happen. Like, those things come from within, and I really appreciate you saying that. For the people watching, I hope that you are able to, not only with this, but with everything that you see from me, that you can internalize something, or that you take something out of this. I feel like this has probably been one of the most valuable conversations I've had with someone, because it's and I'm really being honest with you, because even growing up, I never had a conversation about mental health with any and I had plenty of black men in my life, but I never had a conversation about mental health with them. I never had a conversation about therapy with any of them, and I think that those things would have eliminated a lot of fights. That would have eliminated a lot of people not speaking to each other for years. That would have eliminated a lot of like self-harm, a lot of things that, yeah. And more than you know, like I really, really appreciate you being here. Because more people need to talk like this.
I appreciate you having me, bro. I really do.
Yeah. So with that, y'all, that is my time with Chauncey. He's sitting on some projects right now, but y'all gonna have to wait until he's ready to share. Talk about that before we go. How important is it for you? Because I agree with this, to kind of keep your project silent until they brought to the surface.
I feel like I'm really about quality.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm really about quality. I'm really about having something set up to where it's efficient. So if I can't give it to you on a regular, or if I can't meet the demand, then ain't no point in me talking about it.
Right.
Yeah. Until we get to that point, then that's when I'm gonna start. But no point in talking about it. Yeah.
Words to live by, y'all. I think that's my quote for the end of my interviews, y'all. Words to live by from Chauncey. That's this week's guest. Man, I appreciate you definitely coming through. This has been real. It's all love. Y'all stay tuned for Who Won the Week Part 2 with my boy Chauncey Jackson. I hope that y'all go give him a follow. His information is down below in the description. He's dope, and I really, really appreciate him having the conversation that he had with me. And I want y'all to make sure that you prioritize mental health at all times, because it is not just a hashtag. It's not just, a social media kind of movement. Mental health is a part of your wellness and your day-to-day well-being. So make sure that you track that. Make sure that you stay plugged in with the people and the resources that you need to make sure that you are healthy. And if you need some, reach out. I also have some of those in the description below. All right? Before we get out of here today, I do have to give away my beautiful little trophy to Who Won the Week. My face probably looks so ugly just then. Sorry, could never. I'm cute. Who won this week, y'all? Georgia teachers. Shout out to my teachers in Georgia. This belongs to you because y'all just got added to the list of people who can get the COVID vaccine. That's right, y'all. Yesterday, Governor of Georgia, or Georgia Governor, Brian Kemp, approved teachers and a whole bunch of other people who I'm not going to name right now to be placed on the list to be prioritized for the vaccine. And I think that this gives a lot of teachers peace of mind as they go back into the classrooms and they try to manage face-to-face learning. At least those who want the vaccine can now feel safe to have it and then proceed into the classroom. I guess with that. So congratulations to y'all. Well, the ones that's gonna get the vaccine, congrats to the others. You can still rub this if you want. It's yours too, you a teacher. That's it for Cortez Mac TV this week, y'all. Stay tuned next week. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss anything that I have. And I promise you, next week is gonna be a good one. My interview is, y'all just gotta come back. All right? Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been real, it's been fun, and I love y'all. Tezzy Baby love you so much. Thank y'all. It's Cortez Mac TV. Let's go.